So Conor McGregor's return fight to the UFC is expected to happen this summer at International Fight Week, and the big question is, who is he going to fight? There's a lot of names in circulation, a lot of speculation about who his opponent's going to be since his 5-year hiatus, since 2021 when he fought Poirier in the trilogy, and obviously he was supposed to come back in 2024 against Chandler. However, we're 2 years on from that, and with this big return, Dana White saying it's looking good, the conversation with McGregor's looking good. It's all but a done deal that he's coming back in the summer. And today I have a list of who is gonna, or the names that I think could be a possible matchup. With this, we have three options. We have the safe option, we have the fun option, and we have the risky option. And I'm gonna give you three names who I think McGregor could possibly fight, and in each category, it's kind of self-explanatory. I'm going to kind of break down why I think each belongs in each, or each belongs in each category. And yeah, so before we get into it, please like and subscribe, really helps out. And yeah, so in the safe category, I've got Masvidal. So there was this kind of speculation, I think it was a month ago or something like that. It was Masvidal said he's coming back. Masvidal's also coming back. And I thought it would be like an ideal matchup for McGregor, like a kind of tune-up fight, because McGregor says he wants to have a couple fights in the UFC, maybe two, maybe three, and then like that's it. He wants to at least fight once, maybe twice, and maybe a third time. And I thought, what better way to kind of get him up and running than against Masvidal? Masvidal was older. Masvidal's not. You've seen pictures of Masvidal. He's very he's fat now and all that stuff. He's fat. He's not been really working out that much. And I think that would be perfect, because obviously McGregor's older than what he was last time he fought. He's like 37, maybe he's going to be 38 in July. And it'd be good to put him against an older opponent because he'll probably win. Because this is why it's in the safe. Because it's Masvidal. McGregor will most likely win this fight. You know, as I said, Masvidal's coming off the couch. He's not exactly going to be that good either. McGregor's not going to be great. He might be good. You know, you've seen McGregor training and stuff like that. So, and obviously McGregor's got all the facilities and got all the training partners because he's, a multi-centurion millionaire. So there's that. He's gonna have the upper hand in terms of the training. So I think it'd be best in terms of the safe aspect to put it against Masvidal. However, it wouldn't really. I don't think there'd be too many eyeballs. Obviously, there's going to be eyeballs. It's McGregor. However, the matchup against Masvidal, because Masvidal, obviously everyone knows Masvidal was the big name. He was the big name 2019, 2020, 2021. On the back end of that, Ben Askren KO, and obviously he fought Usman for the title, and he fought Nate Diaz and all that stuff. However, everyone kind of knows Masvidal. His last fight was against Burns in 2023, which he lost quite decisively. And what was I going to say? It was just forgot what I'm going to say. I just lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so everyone knows Masvidal's not the best. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened. Masvidal's not the best, and everyone kind of knows that. So it wouldn't really be that popular of a matchup. So it'd be the least viewed one. Let's just say that. Moving on to the fun category. For the fun category, and what I think is actually the most likely that's going to happen is against Holloway. So this matchup is really good. McGregor-Holloway. McGregor-Holloway 2, it's a rematch. It has a narrative. There's a narrative behind it. There's backstory because they first fought in 2013, I want to say. 2013 or 2012. No, it was 2013. Fought 2013. McGregor won by decision. And I was against a really young Max Holloway, obviously. That was McGregor's come up as well in featherweight before the title shot. And this matchup itself is fun. And because, one, it's fun because you've got two strikers, right? You've got two strikers, explosive strikers. Holloway's really, he's very peppery, but however, lightweight, he has this power now. So there's a bit of a, what if he can knock out McGregor? And McGregor obviously is like a knockout artist. Could he knock out Holloway? The only problem is with this matchup, is that it's not for the BMF belt. I think the UFC I think it would definitely be Holloway if Holloway won the fight against Charles Oliveira. However, that is not the case. So I don't think it really matters if there's a title on the line or not. It's McGregor. Who cares? Another aspect about this fight is that it is very popular. You know, you have McGregor's McGregor. You know, most famous MMA fighter ever. And then Holloway, who's a massive fan favorite. Like everyone loves Holloway, or most people love Holloway. So I think it'd be good in terms of name value. Holloway, massive name. You know, former featherweight champ. You know, he's up there in the lightweight rankings now. He's still, I think he's 34 or something like that. I believe Holloway's like 34. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's right. And that's another aspect as well. Age. It's fun, however, it's slightly risky, but it's not really. And I'll get into that. But in terms of age, it's like McGregor's 37, Holloway's like 34. It's kind of somewhat similar. So they're both kind of getting older. So it's kind of the same age. So it's kind of fair ish. However, in terms of risk, there's not that much risk because McGregor, if he comes back for one fight, the UFC are going to be fine with that. I think if it's one fight, and if he loses, it's like, you know, he might come back again. You know, I lost to Holloway. Holloway's Holloway. You know what I mean? Holloway is Holloway. He's got a stacked resume. You know, he's fought the who's who of lightweight and featherweight. So it wouldn't be exactly a shunful thing to lose. It wouldn't be a shunful fight to lose. You know, it's Holloway. And if Holloway was to lose, say McGregor won, it's like Holloway's kind of, the UFC have kind of got their, you know, they've got their money's worth from Holloway. You know, he's done all the stuff. He just lost to Oliveira, so his stock's down right now. So they can kind of give him the McGregor thing. And if he was to lose, I think that kind of be the somewhat the twilight of Holloway's like pot, or in terms of star power, is be the kind of towards the end of it. So they can kind of they'll get a lot of McGregor and then they'll get a lot of Holloway. Whoever wins, but it's a fun matchup. Obviously, it's like a great matchup to watch, and I think that would be the most popular one. I think that's the one they're going to go with. There's a lot of talk about that. There's a lot of talk about McGregor or Holloway McGregor being the fight that they're going to make because, you know, Holloway just lost, and it kind of they have that excuse to give him McGregor because give Holloway McGregor because obviously McGregor hasn't fought in 5 years. He's shouldn't really be anywhere near the top five, getting a top five fight. But since Holloway lost, it's like you can kind of give him it because he lost. Like regardless, even if he wins, he's gonna have to fight like two more times if he ever wants like a sniff at another title shot. So yeah, that's for the fun category. Next, and finally, the risky category. This is the category I think will have the most risk for the UFC and for McGregor as well. So it would be Paddy Pimblett. This would be a great like promo because I think McGregor and Paddy Pimblett have had some sort of like contentious beef in the past. And I think it would be great promo. Like, could you imagine a press conference? It'd be really funny. It'd be really, you know, you get to see McGregor doing his press conference again, and I think Paddy Pimblett would kind of play up to him and start maybe taking big jabs, you know, talking about McGregor, you know, sending pics and all whatnot, all the McGregor scandals he'd probably start like coming out with. However, the reason I put it in the risky category is because McGregor is, you know, McGregor's been there, done that. You know, regardless of what McGregor does, everyone will watch him. However, Pimblett just lost to Gaethje, and Pimblett doesn't exactly have the best resume. So if he was to lose to McGregor, a 37-year-old McGregor, Paddy Pimblett has just turned 31, I believe. If he was to lose to a 37-year-old McGregor coming back after 5 years, that would not be good for Pimblett, and the UFC would hate that because, you know, Paddy Pimblett, even though he's still fairly young in his UFC career, he's only been in the UFC for 5 years, which is, for a lot of people, that is quite, that's not a lot of time. And with the, you know, Paddy Pimblett has a big contract, so he's gonna be having that the whole time he's here and all that stuff. The UFC want to promote Paddy Pimblett as much as possible. They want to get as much power or star power from Paddy Pimblett because he is so popular. He's one of the most popular fighters in the UFC because he has a big name, because he's funny and he does fight well. And the idea of losing that to the UFC or losing against McGregor, regardless if it's McGregor, because obviously as I said, McGregor's like very popular. But when you actually kind of look at it, it's like McGregor's old, and if he was to beat Pimblett, that would look really bad for Pimblett because Pimblett is supposed to be this great fighter, and if he was to lose to McGregor, he's just fraud checked pretty much. He's pretty much gonna get he would pretty much get fraud checked or be labelled fraud checked if that happened, and it kind of wouldn't really open up too many doors after that in terms of Pimblett's next fight. It'd take him a while to get back to the top, and that's what the UFC do not want to happen. They want to get, like, because he lost against Gaethje, he's going to maybe have to fight, because I think maybe like a Benoit Saint Denis, and apparently that's what he was maybe hinting at. Apparently that's the rumour as well, that he's going to fight Benoit Saint Denis in his next fight. However, if he was to lose, or right now it's like he's going to have to fight someone else, someone same ranking or just a bit below to kind of get back, and then maybe fight another top five. Maybe fight like I'm not sure, someone in the top five anyway before he gets another title shot. So that would be the most riskiest part of it, and I think the UFC would never. Maybe would they try to do it? I don't think they would. I think they're gonna go with this one. Holloway McGregor would be the best option, the most profitable option, I believe. So yeah, that's the video. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. It really helps out. And and if you have any opinions on what I said, please comment below. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you later. Bye.